Hey chums, just trying that out. I'm not sure about it. I've started this hello, start of the vlog 4 times now. I'm all over the place. I've decided to come in here and do one thing until it is finished before going out into the garden. And that one thing is I'm going to sew the strips of the patchwork blanket together so that the top is almost completed. I just need to make a decision about the sashing on the edges, if it's needed or if it's a good enough size to just go straight into binding it. I'm veering towards doing some sashing anyway, but I don't really want to make it too big because I'd like this to be a blanket that can just be dragged around by little girl onto the sofa or snuggled up onto the bed. I don't want to make it too big for a 2-year-old. And also, if they are too big, they're not so practical to take around with you or in pushchairs or on picnics and the like. That is just my experience. So I'm hoping that Laura agrees. Because as much as I'm making this for baby Annabelle, at this point, it's as much for Laura, isn't it? It is, isn't it? What's going on with my eyebrow? Look at him. Doesn't matter, does it? I'm really, really, really missing knitting. I'm frog in my throat. Yeah. I am missing it terribly, and you'd think after completing the scarf and it being slightly tense knitting due to a deadline that I would be glad of the break, but not at all. I'm just really sad about not being able to knit because of my stupid elbow, which doesn't seem to be getting any better despite not knitting. Blah. Ted's out on a bike ride at the moment with his little friend. Since we're allowed to do stuff like that now, this is what's nice, I'm allowed into somebody's house and they're allowed into my house. You still got to keep 1 to 2 meters apart and stay alert. But it does mean that I can go and have a cup of tea with my friend when I pick Ted up a bit later. And she is I forget what her title is now. She's a sports therapist masseuse. So she's not a physio or an osteopath, but she does the sort of deep tissue massage and all of that kind of thing. Which means that she's probably got all the PPE and what have you, and she might be able to take a look at my elbow. I'll give her a nudge with my elbow and see if she'll respond. So yeah, knitting, really, really missing it. Badly missing it. Pining for the scarf, actually. Aside from the pressure of getting it done, it was a really enjoyable thing to knit. I think I need to work out not the colours I'm drawn to because I love the colours, but the colours that I wear, which are not necessarily as pretty, and come up with a scheme and knit it again, and maybe even just write up the pattern, because although it's such a simple thing, if you're a new knitter, you wouldn't really know where to start, would you? So it might be nice to have a simple pattern like that can hold your hand. I'm sure there's millions out there on Ravelry, but I get asked quite a lot, what is a good starter pattern for a new knitter? And this one, for a new knitter, maybe not a newbie, because I think washcloths are the best for those, but for somebody wanting to learn how to knit on circulars, this would be a really good one. As a prelude to socks and for ironing out any tension issues. didn't come on here to say any of that. I wanted to come on to say I'm missing knitting so much that I'm just dreaming about yarn and yarn combinations, and specifically dyeing yarn, but further to that, making my own dye for yarn. So you'll have seen a couple of days ago, I made a very simple avocado dye. That's just sat in a jam jar in the fridge at the moment, waiting for me to do something with it. And I think I'm going to pick some lavender, because that makes a nice greeny grey, some lavender leaves, and see if I can make a dye pot with that. And also I'm collecting my onion skins, because again, that makes a nice yellowy beigey kind of colour. So I think I might have a bit of fun with some yarn dyeing. I've got some skeins of yarn that aren't really my colour palette anymore. I've been in a shift of taste for the past year or so. I was talking to my friend on WhatsApp the other day, Rachel, and she said that she would find it really hard to pick out presents and things for me at the moment because my tastes haven't quite settled yet and I'm not really sure what they are myself. So I think it'll be fun to have a little bit of an experiment and just try to settle in on what I like these days. And I've now been talking for 5 minutes. I'm halfway through a row on my patchwork. And I said I wanted to get this done, and I'm here waffling. There we go, all stitched together. It's funny, it's a bit like my English paper piecing stars and hexagons one. It's showing up much darker. That is actually a really pale fawny colour. It looks so dark here. How odd. So that's good, that's done. I'll just give it a press now and then start on the sashing. It definitely needs something more at the sides. I need to decide what though. It didn't take too long either. Paused halfway through for a little break. Went and watched some of the Lorax with the boys, which was nice, with Bill and Wilf. Snuggled up. It was lush. Look at that courgette. And you lose something has eaten those 2 courgette plants that I put out. Never mind. Still got this baby. Now I think the deal is you're supposed to just twist them off. Oh, that one's got manky end. Let's get rid of that one. It's because something's nibbled it. Oh, I'm so happy. I've actually grown a courgette, and look, no powdery mildew. It's brilliant. Look, I've got a tiny cauliflower. I can't show you. I've got a tiny cauliflower. I only have to keep them tucked up. There we go.